This
Everybody,
conference will now
I
be
wanted to
recorded.
do a quick video to show you the new setup that I've been working on. And the setup is going to be able to be taken off a time-based chart. I know in the current market volatility, a lot of people have had trouble entering in off of a range chart just simply because of the fast pace of the market. So on Wednesday the 16th at 4:30, I'll be doing a webinar also on the setup, and you guys can certainly check it out. Go to my site, easy-e-mini-trade.com, and click on the upcoming webinar tab at the top, and all the information is there. In the meantime, I'm going to show you the setup on a 1-minute chart, but you can do it on any chart. It doesn't have to be a time-based chart, but the settings that I'm using on the Super Trend Stop are specifically designed to work pretty well on the time-based charts. So
This
what you're looking at
conference
is a
will now
1-minute
be
chart
recorded.
on NQ from yesterday, the 10th. And you could just use any time-based chart that you're already using with indicators you already have on there. The indicators that we'll use will be similar to what we use for the Slinky. The big difference is that the settings are going to be much different on the Super Trend Stop, because if we use the settings that we typically use, it's very far away from price and it gets you in late and requires a big stop. So we'll be using that and the double stochastic still, just like with the Slinky. A couple other things that we'll go over that will help with your entry opportunities. And then I just slapped an average true range on here, and I'll go over how you can use that while you're trading. Ideally, if you're taking a trade, you'll notice that when price closes above the Super Trend Stop, then it will start to plot below price. And very often that can start out pretty large. So this is going to help you on the ATR here to decide, approximately what size stop you can get away with if you don't want to use the opposite Super Trend Stop. So again, I'm not going to go into great detail. I'll just give some quick examples. But this is a 1-minute chart on NQ, and I always like to have the VWAP information on there. That's what these color bands are. For the value areas, it's the market profile information. And then this is the volume composite over here. So those are things I always like to have on my charts. And then I have the 90 to 200 EMAs right here in the center. This is a 30. I'll go over how you can use that for the setup if you choose to. You don't have to. And then this highlighted area, I know I'm going to get a question about it, is the 5-minute opening range. Not using that for anything except watching for when I can start taking that opening range trade again. And when that happens, I'll let you guys know. So anyway, this is the open yesterday at 9:30. Here we get above the Super Trend Stop, and would not be a valid entry because of our stochastics down here. This one here, valid. Looks like you would have gotten, let's see here, because we don't have to wait for a close above or below. That's the beauty of the settings as well. So this would have gotten you in somewhere around 47, and it traded down to, let's just say 39.75. So definitely some profit to be taken there, right? And then this one here, valid, getting above the super trend, so that would be valid, and that one obviously worked out well. And as always, just having an idea of where support and resistance areas are will make all the difference in the world in your trading, no matter what setup you trade. And I just cannot stress that enough to you guys. Right here, as we're breaking below, it's not valid, not valid. And then let's see, so that's pretty much the morning. The thing about the 1 minute is that you will have fewer opportunities, which is not good or bad. It's going to be dependent on your trading style, on how you want to manage it once you're in. But you will tend to get moves that last a little bit longer. So you're going to find much more in frequency of the price breaking the super trend stop with the settings that we're using.
This
And this is
conference
the
will
line
now be
that
recorded.
you're looking at. So here's the open at 9:30 over here. And don't get a setup until here. It's not quite valid. And we'll talk about how you can have a few opportunities to enter in on the break of the super trend. So anyway, I'll talk more about that in a webinar, but this one not valid here as the buy, this one here valid as the short, and trades down to support, works out. Basically you get in at, let's say it's 730 price, and it trades down to 693. Here, not quite valid for the buy. And here, you would not take that as the short, and I'll tell you during our training in the webinar why you'd pass on that. And then that's pretty much it until the afternoon. This short here, not quite valid, so you'd pass on that. And that's on YM. So as mentioned, you'll have fewer breaks of the super trend stop, which will probably be helpful, but the most helpful part is that you won't have to wait for the close of the bar to enter and then try to get your order in. Basically, you know where the super trend is, you know if it's valid, and then you just decide if you're going to take it, and then you place your order. So that is an added bonus. Now let's look at ES.
This
Okay,
conference
so
will
this
now
is
be
the
recorded.
ES open right here. Here we're trying to break the super trend. It's not valid. Not valid, and then it becomes valid before it ever closes above. So you could take this right here at 66 and a quarter area, and you know, resistance, first area of resistance would be up here at 68 and a quarter, and then next area would be up here at 70.50. So you could see that that one worked out pretty well. Right here, this short valid would have you getting in around 67.50. And this trades down to 63.75. Right here, not valid for the buy. And not saying that, you know, if you don't get an entry on your 1 minute that you wouldn't flip over. Yesterday was actually a pretty quiet market in how it was auctioning back and forth. So definitely, it's funny because, you know, we were saying in the room how we've gotten so accustomed to the craziness that it felt like it was so quiet. But that's when you can go back to your range charts, or, you know, whatever your preference is. So like I said, this buy right here, not quite valid. This short here, as it's breaking, trying to break the super trend, not valid. And then that's pretty much it until the afternoon, or, you know, till our session is over at 11:30. I'll just scroll here a little bit and you can see what we get here. Here, this short, technically valid, but I'm going to show you why you probably would pass on that. And then this buy here is valid. So that one there gets you in at, like, let's say 84.50 area, and then obviously, you know, does keep on going all the way up to 90. All right, so again, we're still using a lot of the same aspects of the Slinky. The big difference is going to be how we're entering and the settings on the super trend stop. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you how you can use the ATR to determine what size stop and target to use. Okay, you guys, so if you want more information on the webinar, go to my site, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday. Take care.